Chuck, Georgia, Missouri. Speaking of great games, this was an awesome game. These were this was a tough game for Georgia. This was a tough game. But what does Carson do? What does Carson Beck do? Wins football games.
Is he just so impressive? Like you talk about a lot of first year quarterbacks. Now I get it. He's in his fourth year. He's an upperclassman. Yada yada yada. He's just super impressive, poised. I mean, it is without Carson Beck, right? With a running game that's not been consistent all year, and it wasn't fantastic by any stretch of imagination yesterday, or by the time we're recording this on this past Sunday. Like he's just so impressive, just so impressive.
Yeah, of course, I am the captain of the Carson Beck fan club. I'm the conductor of the Carson Beck train. He's been awesome. That's not to say that, Missouri didn't play well. Brady Cook looked a little bit more like Brady Cook than we'd expect, but he also made some plays. I don't know. Look, he wasn't amazing, right? But he was okay. I mean, this was a good Georgia defense. I mean,
on the road,
yeah, on the road, real tough environment. That place was bumping. They were able to run the ball. Now, granted, Georgia's run defense has not been up to par with what we're probably used to with Georgia defenses, but they were able to run the ball a little bit. Cody Schrader got going. That dude, Cody Schrader's awesome, man. He's almost at 1,000 yards this season already. That guy's a good football player. But yeah, I mean, Missouri just they hung in the game, man. For the second straight year, they've given Georgia problems.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think this is one of those games where it's okay to come away impressed with both of these teams. Some people are like, oh, Georgia didn't cover the spread. Oh, this team's weak. It's not as good as they were last year. And sure, they're not as good as they were last year or the year before. This is still a very elite football team. And they got to win against a good SEC opponent. And they just got to win. Bottom line, they get a win. And that's kind of what all they needed to do yesterday. And to be honest, on Missouri's side, like I know Brady Cook, the 2 interceptions, costly, right? Like that one that was picked off, just brutal, bad mistake. Why are you throwing that? It was screen pass, whatever. But like they moved the football for four quarters. They moved the football on Georgia. And it wasn't even all Luther Burden. He didn't have any special game by any stretch of imagination. Like he's used to putting up well over 100 yards, closer to 10 receptions a game. He was held in check. And I think part of that was Georgia's philosophy to be like, hey, let someone else beat us. And Cody Schrader got his. Theo Weiss made some nice plays. Mookie Cooper had some nice catches as well. I came away really impressed with Missouri. And like, even though they lost, I just like it solidified them as like, okay, this team's a legit contender for that number 2 spot in the SEC East. Well, like, it's not that great and not that impressive a title this year, but like if they play Tennessee this week and like at home, they have a really good chance, and I might pick them to win that game. I just think the future of Missouri is good. I think this was nice. This was an awesome game, top to bottom, for both teams. Like,
yeah,
that's what it was,
Yeah,
that's why I see it.
Yeah, I came out impressed with Missouri as well. I mean, I took them right plus 15.5. So I expected them to cover this game, but I also took Georgia to win. So this is exactly kind of how I expected it to go. So I don't feel differently about either of these teams. I guess, yeah, I don't really. I know you're more impressed with Missouri. I'm impressed with both these teams. Yeah, but I feel the same. I feel like this game kind of went how I expected it to go. And what did it come down to? Carson Beck making some plays and the defense making some plays. So, and if you have those two things working and operating the way that you want them to, then bam, you got a team that can win some ball games. Lad McConkey also is a stud.
God, he is so fun.
We've missed him, man. So we have missed him this season.
I remember watching him a couple of years ago, and I was like, who's this little white dude that's on Georgia that's like all these playmakers, all these studs they have, and why is this guy getting fed the ball on screen passes and design shot plays? Because he's special. Like, this guy's a really good football player. I do want to say this real quick. Like, is there a team or a unit that you want more like with the game on the line, 2-minute drill than Georgia's defense. And then honestly, with a healthy Brock Bowers, give me Georgia's offense and Carson Beck. Like I don't like I just feel just uber confident all the time when Georgia's playing a game. Like they're gonna get a stop here. Like they're gonna score and they need to score. Like that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, I really like their I really like their secondary when they're healthy. I do think their run defense doesn't feel like it normally does. Like it'll be like if they make it right to the championship game and they play Alabama, right? Like it'll be interesting to see what Bama can try to do on the ground. I don't know. But also Georgia plays Ole Miss this week. And I mean Ole Miss is just casually a top 10 team. That spread I think opened at -11 or -10.5. So there's another game, another gauntlet. Of course, they get that game at home as well, which is turned out to be a pretty nice schedule dynamic for Georgia. I don't think we expected Missouri or Ole Miss to either of them to be top 15 caliber teams. So turned out to be a pretty nice year for Georgia to have Missouri at home and Ole Miss at home. So we'll see. We'll continue to monitor both of these teams. Missouri still got a lot to play for sure. I mean, they're 7-2 right now with only 2 losses. Coming to LSU and Georgia. So I mean, they still got a lot to play for. So I'm excited to see both these teams down the road. Again, like you said, Missouri plays Tennessee, then they play Florida at home, and then they play Arkansas. So they got a chance here to really, even if they lose to Tennessee, they got a chance to go 9-3. Which for Eli Drink, I mean, come on.
People were talking about this. This was do or die for him. This was do or die for him. And
this was hot seat.
This Missouri football team and this program can compete in the new SEC with the NIL rules. Fun fact, I'm actually writing a paper right now on the NIL in college, and Missouri's legislation is just top notch. It's like their state is just super, like they nailed it. They hit it right on the head, and they're putting their positions and their programs in a really good chance to succeed in the new NIL era. And with Eli Drinkwitz and some of the players that they're keeping home from the state of Missouri, they're going to be a fun team. They're going to be a hard out in the new SEC. With a ton of blue bloods, Missouri is going to be a team that nobody wants to play on their schedule.